Hi, I'm Paul with MadCap Software, and in this video, I'm going to talk just a little bit about URL options on your license. Because when you first subscribed, you gave your company name. And so if you host output up on Central, Flare Project output, it's going to use that as part of your URL. But you have some options here. For example, maybe when you signed up, your company's name is FictionSoft, and that's just what you gave it. So you're going to end up with a URL that starts out like this. It's going to start out with the subdomain, which is the name of your company, whatever you signed up with, in this case, FictionSoft. And you got .mcoutput.com. That is MadCap Flares, or sorry, MadCap Central's domain. And so it's going to use that. fictionsoft.mcoutput.com, and then whatever the rest of the path is. Now, you're not able to change this domain, but you can change this first part. That is one of the things you can do. So let's take a look at that. So what you want to do is first, you got to make sure you have the right permissions. You come up and click your name, opens up your profile, come down to permissions. And what you want to make sure you have is this server management permission. As long as you have that, you're okay. If you don't have it, select it and then click save. I already have mine, so click cancel. Now you can come up to your license up here in the upper right, click that, select license settings, and you're going to come down to settings. And you got a few things in here: your avatar setting, your name, that's your label. This is your vanity. And this is what you can change to change your URL. And down below, it also lets you know, oh, okay, this is what your central URL is. This is what your output URL is. So central URL, that's the URL you're going to use to log in. Mine says QA on here because I'm working on a QA server. So ignore that. Output URL is what is going to be used for your output. So you could change this. Yeah, I've got FictionSoft. I could change it to FictionSoft Inc. or FictionSoft Incorporated, whatever. And you can see the changes made down here. And then you would just click save, and that has changed your URL. I would want to point out a couple of things here. Number one is, I would advise you, if you're going to make a change to your vanity here, that you do that early on in the process before you've published a whole bunch of output. Because if you've given out links and it has the old link, that's going to break. So ideally, you'd want to do this early on, make changes. Also, if your license is set up for single sign-on, you can see the page for it down here. And mine is, which means that instead of logging in using a unique central password, you're logging into your company's identity provider account. So you're using your company password that you have set up. And so all of this, part of single sign-on, is setting up your identity provider to work with Central. And if you were to change this in here, well, now it's not going to work, because you would have to have your IT person go into your identity provider and update the vanity in here from FictionSoft to FictionSoft Incorporated, or whatever you change it to. But if that's what you want to do, if you want to control the URL here for your output, this is where you would do that. Now, it could be a case where you think, okay, I don't want to use this at all. I don't want to use the central domain. We want to use our own. So maybe you want your domain to be this, something like help.fictionsoft.net. You can do that. So you can map to your own host domain. The output will still be hosted up on Central, but you're going to give your users this domain, which is more familiar. All right. Now, I actually talk about this more in depth in another video called Vanities and Host Mapped Domains. That's part of the series on sites, which is where you control your output, the information around your output. And part of that is the URL. So you can do this, and you can, do other things to really have control over that final URL. So there you go. Your URL is really important for your output. Just get it sorted out early on is my recommendation. Thank you for watching this video. We'll talk to you next time.